song. Live. Joseph Sciambra is here. Used to be a gay porn star. Now he's not. But he's...
I have to hear this story.
Yeah, it's pretty good. There he is. Hey, Joe. You Joe or Joseph? Joseph. What do you say? How you doing, man? Let's see. Is your mic working? Hey, hold on. Let me see. Oh, there you go. Give me a testing 1, 2.
1, 2, 3.
You're there.
Okay.
So how many gay film... Hey, Joseph. How many gay films were you in?
At least a dozen.
A dozen?
Yeah.
And you liked this sex?
Yes, at the time I did, yeah.
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 Anyway, your story is fascinating, actually.
Okay.
That's why we asked you to come in, because a lot of people want to know about this. So it's not that you're claiming you're not gay anymore. You are gay, it's just you're not acting on it, right?
True, but, I do rebuke that word gay. It's been forced on so many of us.
Gay, I rebuke you?
I do.
What happened? You got religious?
I did.
I read your story, and I was thinking, you know what happened with you? You went, into such a dark world, and you had so many partners, and you were doing, hardcore, weird sex stuff.
I did.
That, what would have been wrong if you just had now you're like, hey, I better stay away from gay everything. What would be wrong with being a gay man, finding someone you adore and love, and having a wonderful gay relationship?
I found that very difficult in the gay world. I don't think it exists. I really don't.
Oh, come on.
I think there's an image that the gay world would like us to see as that's why they're pushing for gay marriage, because there's a gay sector that is a very promiscuous, but yes, there's also a gay sector that is the Martha Stewart gay sector. I found that part to be very, very small. And I
got to tell you, my cousin is in a long-term relationship. He was at that time there was no gay marriage, but he was with a man for most of his life who was older than him, and that guy died, and now he's in a very long-term relationship with a wonderful man, and we enjoy always hanging out with them. They're a wonderful couple. I have probably 4 to 6 gay couples in my life, maybe 10. Who are all in long monogamous relationships. They have fabulous friends, fabulous lives together. They've built partnerships. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, as much as any heterosexual marriage.
Like that. Yeah.
From my experience, I found it to be that they were in very much the minority. And
that got to do with anything.
Right. What about...
Because I think a certain image of the gay world is being sold to kids, in particularly, that it's just like... I think you just have to look at the STD rates and the HIV rates among gay men. It's extremely high. Because of people who carried on like you with random sort of partners. But there's a lot of promiscuity.
High risk. Yeah, well, but maybe that'll change when people get a little more comfortable.
I don't think so, because see, with gay men and sex, it's much more than sex.
What is
it? It's almost like it's a quest. It's a ritual. It's finding yourself. It's going back to your childhood. It's working out a lot of stuff when gay men have sex.
Well, let me get into your life.
It's completely. I know a lot of people like to say gay, heterosexual. It's the same thing. It's just 2 guys instead of a guy and a gal. It isn't. It's a completely different world.
Well, let me just say one thing. There's plenty of promiscuity and weirdness among heterosexuals.
Correct.
It's true. It's true in any community.
It's becoming worse among heterosexuals.
It's always been worse among heterosexuals.
Well, let me get into your story.
I think among the gay community, there's always been high promiscuity. I mean, I lived in San Francisco, the gay capital of the world.
Right.
And, I mean, I was there on the front lines during the 90s. I saw it all. I did it all.
Let me get into your story a little bit. So when was the last time you've had gay sex? Was it 8 years ago?
1999.
You stopped. You swore off gay sex.
Yes.
Okay. And that was because you realized that your life was spinning out of control. You found religion, you found God. And you said, this behavior for me isn't godly. It's not godlike.
It wasn't so much that I got scared I did a really hardcore scene, BDSM, water sports, the whole thing.
What is all that?
Yeah, what went on in the scene? What was the scene?
I was, getting beat up, raped, and I was drinking urine. And
when you say drinking urine, describe this now. Wasn't there some scene where a guy puts a funnel in his mouth and then everyone pisses into it?
That's where that was a different scene. I didn't take part. That's when I was just getting introduced into hardcore bondage. That was my introduction to it.
Well, let me understand your life. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area.
And you were growing up, and around 9 years old was the first trauma in your life. You say that at 9. You were an older girl exposed her private parts to you, and you became traumatized.
I did.
I had a similar experience. It was rather bizarre to me, but it certainly didn't traumatize me.
Well, before that, I'd already been exposed through my older brother to porn.
Right.
And it was just the Playboy penthouse variety.
Right.
But at that age, it was enough to excite me and just imprint itself on my mind. When I saw that nude girl, it was just like all flashbacks, all those images of women and, lust and...
Is that what you attributed your gayness to? In your mind, you felt that...
I think so.
Yes. Now, to me, I think you're just born gay, And
I don't believe that, no.
You don't at all.
I had attraction to women as a child.
You think that Satan entered your body, right?
He did. I was full-on demonically possessed.
How were you demonically possessed, and at what age?
The devil entered my life through porn. He does that through porn.
Right.
It can be very beautiful and seductive, and you become addicted to it.
But you described you only looked at female porn.
I did.
And then you became bored with it. Let me tell you, someone who is heterosexual.
Yeah.
I've never become bored with female pornography. I've been seeing it since I was like you, like a young kid.
Yeah.
And I only get more into it. I'm 59 years old now. And the other day I beat off to porn.
Wow.
There's no way you could ever go to gay porn
Exactly.
anything?
A heterosexual man never gets sick of looking at naked girls.
I think porn has a very liberalizing effect on people.
Right.
Because they just did a study that men that admit to looking at porn, gay or straight, whatever, are much more... they're much more likely. Well, they're much more likely to approve of gay marriage. Is one of them.
Right.
It has a liberalizing effect on.
Well, that's good then.
And
listen to me. Gay marriage is probably the most important issue for our society in terms of. To me, it is, because I'm a heterosexual male. But as long as we have that inequality, and as long as we continue to demonize gay men, people like you are going to be embarrassed to be gay.
I love gay men. I think it's a political... I saw it in the early 90s with gays in the military. Some politicians like to whip up a gay issue to rally us all around some sort of political party. They're doing it now. They're using us. They're using
let's get back to your
gay population.
But let's get back to your life so people understand. So you're a young boy.
Yeah.
You jerking off and stuff to female porn.
Oh, yeah.
And you become, quote-unquote, bored with female porn. And you start looking at gay porn. And that's when you think the devil entered into your body?
Not so much gay porn, but, then my brother was getting Penthouse Hustler, where you have men, you have simulated sex.
Right.
And I was looking at the guys, and I was going, hey, I wonder what it would be like to be with a man.
Right.
I was wondering about that.
Right.
And that got me excited.
Right.
So I guess at that point I was bisexual. I don't know. I was excited by men and women. I've always sort of been that way. But, a lot of guys that I met in the gay world, can go both ways.
Have you ever had sex with a woman?
Oh, yeah.
Do you hate it, or it was okay?
It was good.
The gay sex is better.
I like it more because it works into a lot of the hang-ups, the woundedness that I have.
Well, you're clearly gay. I mean, you're an effeminate guy.
I am, yeah.
And so you're gay. And it's no shame in that. I mean, I think that's wonderful.
I rebuke that word gay.
Why rebuke?
Because we have been labeled with that. A kid, maybe that's a little effeminate as a child. Maybe he
call it what you want. You're attracted to men.
Maybe he has some attraction. Right away they say, hey, you're gay. It's a way...
Well, if you're attracted to men, you're gay. Or call it whatever you want. Call it apples, oranges, or anything else. There's a label because it's a form of sexuality, and it's just not a sin, I don't think.
But it's something that can be worked on. It's something that
Why bother?
Why work on it?
Because, you know...
Why fight it?
Because since I've come out against porn and I've spoken out about homosexuality, a lot of men have come to me and say they are not happy in the gay lifestyle.
Right.
They're not happy.
Well,
and
so what
I want to speak to them. I said, there is an alternative. You don't have to be gay. You don't have to be in that world just because you have an attraction to people of the same sex.
Well, here's what I would say is, you're a gay guy who's denying himself gay sex. That's what your plan is, right? In other words, you are going to, because you're a religious man, and you subscribe to the religious doctrines of the church.
I do.
That you're making a decision.
Yes.
I don't want to partake in gay sex, so rather than partake, I'll be abstinent.
You're going to be celibate.
Yeah, I'm going to be celibate.
I'm chaste, yes.
And so you're sitting there, for whatever reason, denying yourself sex, and it's probably driving you insane.
I've never been happier.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's good then.
I looked very happy when I was in the gay lifestyle. I had, a certain amount of fame, a lot of friends, partied a lot.
What were some of the titles of the movies you performed in?
Oh, dear. Oh, gosh, they were awful. There were like a lot of spank and stuff. And
were you a twink? Were you a...
I was kind of a twink when I was in my early...
So I'll assume you were a bottom.
I was more a top.
Did you take it in the ass?
I did. I sure did.
And you had problems taking it in the ass, right?
It wasn't so much that having something inserted, it's the constant purging that you have to go through.
What do you mean?
In order to...
Did you get the load out?
You have to, you'd have to do a ritual if you were going to know you were going to have receptive anal sex the next day. I would not eat solid food that day.
Right. Was this for on camera or in your personal?
No, anything.
Anything.
It's crazy. And I would have to clean. You have to clean yourself
because there's cum in there.
Yeah, it's just not. This is before.
Right.
It's just not natural because that part of the body is meant to expel. Waste. It's not meant to have and be clean all the time.
But you enjoyed having a penis in your ass, right?
At times I did.
Yes.
Most of the time it's painful.
And you say that you had to go through 3 surgeries.
I did.
Because your sphincter got ripped open?
I did. I had it all. I had hemorrhoids, fissures, everything.
It's tough stuff.
Bleeding.
Right.
It's a bunch of BS. Anal is so big in porn right now, straight and, of course, gay.
Yes.
But... It's not good for the body, man. It's bad. I went through 2 or 3 years of just constant bleeding. I became anemic. Oh. This is after I got out of porn.
Right.
And I finally had to have a couple,
So maybe you could be in a relationship where you just blow each other.
We know people like that.
I do not want to be...
George Takei just blows his husband, and his husband blows him. That's it. That's as far as it goes. Happy clams. They're happier than clams. You should see those two. But that doesn't appeal to you, huh? Like a relationship like George Takei has, where you have a great partner?
Well, you know what? I have very good, stable relationships with other men that are attracted to other men.
Right.
But our boundaries are already clearly set. We know we're just friends.
No kissing?
No, God, no. We hang out. We just go do things together. We go to church together.
You feel the devil got into you through anal sex?
Yes, I was possessed. That's where I took on a full-on possession.
How did you get the devil out of you?
I had an exorcism.
You did? You went to a priest?
Yes, Catholic priest.
Where did they perform the exorcism?
At a church.
And you laid there and they prayed over you?
It was kind of like Linda Blair in The Exorcist, yeah.
Were you speaking in tongues?
I was gibbering and gibberish.
Do you remember that at all?
I do, kind of vaguely.
Do you remember the devil leaving your body?
I do.
And from that day forward, you never again had gay sex?
Never.
Wow.
But are you tempted?
God took away, he didn't take away the desire, but he gave me the strength not to give in to my lusts.
It must be difficult for you to sit here with a hot, sexy guy like myself and really restrain yourself. Isn't that true?
This is a real test.
This is a test. You're okay?
I'm doing good.
I understand.
Thank
all right.
you.
So here you were, this guy. You were sexually confused. You were upset that what the hell is going on? But you go. Yeah, why do you decide to? You seem like a pretty tame guy. How do you decide to go into pornography, gay pornography, and what kinds of things did you have to do?
Well, You know, when I got to 18 years old, I was confused about myself sexually.
Where did you go for sex? Did you go to, like, the arcades?
I went to San Francisco. I went to the bathhouses.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
Weird scene?
Yeah. I mean, at the time it was hot. I loved it.
You loved it?
Oh, yeah. I used to go at least twice a week.
And how many partners would you have in one session?
At least 2.
And it's a miracle you never got AIDS or HIV.
I never did. I usually topped.
I see.
This was the late 80s.
No rubbers?
HIV. Sometimes I did. Sometimes I didn't.
Wow.
Late 80s, HIV, the gay population was very strict at that time still.
Right.
With safe sex. Now it's bareback all the way.
Right.
You know, and that's why HIV rates are just skyrocketing, especially
Are they? I thought they were going down.
No,
they are going down.
Among the, young gay males, it's terrible.
They don't want to wear rubber.
It's very high. Well, because these are kids that grew up post-AIDS scare era. I was right in the middle of it.
So before you went into gay porn, you were hanging out, you were going to gay bathhouses.
Oh, yeah.
You say you were raped by a man. Where were you raped? Where were you that it occurred?
You know, I wasn't so much raped. My first gay lover, as always happens in the gay world, it's an older man that ushers you in, initiates you into the gay world, usually very gently at first.
Right.
Which he did. I bottomed for him the first time. I never bottomed for a man because I was scared to death to do it.
Right.
I didn't want to get AIDS.
Right.
Because at that time, guys were dying from it.
Sure.
All over.
Right.
I didn't want to be one of them. Well, after I got to trust him, he asked if I would do a gangbang for his friends. And I would bottom for all these guys. And I did it.
Wow. How many guys?
9 guys.
9 guys took you anally?
Yes.
First time?
Yes. Why did I? No. He was my first up top.
And then he said, hey, well, how about a bunch of my buddies?
Yeah. You know, I did it because at that time, if I found a man that I thought loved me and trusted me, and I trusted, I would do anything for him.
Right.
I would, and I did that a few times with men. But then he started passing me on. I got to be 19. I got to be 20. And he passed me on to
So
some
you don't
friends.
have HIV? I mean,
no, I do not.
That's a miracle, right?
It is. God kept me here for a reason.
Yeah.
I did get chlamydia and I did get gonorrhea.
Right.
Chlamydia?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't even know what that is, and you got it.
Usually women get that.
I got it in the throat.
Oh.
Yeah.
No shit.
Through anal sex,
yes.
Got it in the throat through anal sex.
That guy must have been huge.
Excuse me, Robin, through oral. I'm sorry.
Through oral.
But I was doing rimming, too, so, you know.
You would eat a guy's ass?
Yes, I did.
Tongue it?
Yes, I did.
Madonna me.
Yes, I did. It's pretty disgusting.
That is disgusting.
But when you are so into it, you'll do just about anything. That's why.
Are you also, were you taking drugs?
I did. I did a lot of ecstasy, and us guys, gay guys, we do a lot of poppers.
So when you tongue a guy's ass, and the next morning you wake up, you got to have an awful taste in your mouth, right?
You know, not really. You're so demonically possessed that everything is good. It's all good. The devil makes everything good.
Right.
You know, even when I was having anal sex at one point, I was in such horrible pain. I had blood coming out of my rectum right afterwards. I didn't feel anything.
Good Lord.
Wait a minute. You say you were in horrible pain, but you didn't feel anything. I don't understand.
Well, you know what? Afterwards, I was in really bad pain.
Oh.
When you're in that place,
the moment of ecstasy,
when the guy is taking you and you're in that heat, you don't feel nothing.
When those guys when the 9 guys did you though, that must have been a scene. I mean, that must have been crazy, right?
You must.
We did rough sex that time. I got punched a few times. I was unconscious for a little while.
Oh my God!
I wanted to.
Do you see what I mean? Your experience as a gay man has been so hardcore.
I didn't find it particularly odd, though. A lot of my friends were doing a lot of the same stuff.
Yes, but you were in a group. Yeah, again, you can find yourself in groups of people who are all doing weird stuff, and then it seems more normal to you.
Right.
Yes.
But that is not necessarily the whole world.
Right. Maybe you could have some sort of moderation with a man.
Yeah. I mean, I knew some Betty Crocker gay guys, you know, and I got into it with them, you know, and they would say, hey, you know, we're monogamous, but we're open. You know, we're together, but sometimes we invite somebody in.
Right.
We invite a third party, you know. And I know straight people do that, too.
Right.
But
seem more prevalent in the gay community?
I mean, I did not know a single monogamous gay couple that were completely monogamous.
Really?
Where not one of them went out.
So listen to this.
It just didn't happen.
At a sex club, Joseph witnessed a bearded man reclined in a bathtub while various men urinated on him. In another area, there was a man kneeling down with a metal funnel duct taped to his mouth while men urinated in his mouth. Holy
this
mackerel.
sounds like a fun party.
You were in some scene,
This
brother.
is in San Francisco, yeah. This is at a leather club.
Joseph once had sex with a man in a porta potty when suddenly onlookers opened the door and took photos of him. After they were done, the man asked Joseph to urinate on him, in which he happily obliged.
This is at the Folsom Street Fair, the famous Folsom Street Fair.
Dude.
I don't know if they've tried to clean that up. You know, I haven't been to that in a long time. It's on Folsom Street in San Francisco. The public is welcome, and that stuff goes on. You know,
They have not cleaned it up because we sent Wolfie there.
Oh, wow, okay.
And he said it was one of the most horrific experiences of his life. He said just guys walking around with their dicks out and all sorts of stuff.
You don't miss it at all, huh?
Guys urinate on each other? No. No, I do not.
Do you fantasize about it? Do you masturbate still?
No.
You don't
No,
masturbate
I do
at
not
all?
masturbate.
You have not shot a load in 8 years?
Nocturnally, yes. Nocturnal
You'll wake up and
yes.
surprise.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, thank God for that.
Yeah, and I hesitated when you said if I missed it, because I do miss, a part of me does miss my friends back in that life.
Right.
I love them dearly. They're not evil people. I want, especially Christians, because Christians can be such bigots.
Right.
I'm a Christian, but I get so mad because gay people are not the worst things on earth.
That's right.
And they think we are. We're not.
Right.
You know, Jesus loves us too.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
and I think Jesus loves us even more than straight people because
I
he.
rebuke that word Christian.
Yeah, sometimes, it's tough.
So you did a Nazi fetish porno.
I did.
You played a Nazi.
I
And
became a neo-Nazi.
You did?
What?
Yes.
No kidding.
Yes, I did.
A gay man who was a neo-Nazi?
I was a gay porn star and I was a neo-Nazi.
How does that work? I mean, when did that
tell
happen?
those guys?
Because there's a subsect of BDSM in gay world that has a Nazi fetish.
Right. The
And-
uniform and the whole
Yes,
thing. Right.
exactly.
Did it go as far as to hate the Jews and want to kill them and all that?
I had a hard time with that part.
Right.
I had a hard time with it. The gay world and the Nazi world, I'm going to get hate mail for this, has a lot in common. They adore the masculine idea, that sweaty, oily, muscled guy. They love it. They also have a very strict adherence to their policies. It's very hard to go outside of the sphere in the gay world. And also, they have a lot of hatred for people that oppose them. I didn't like that either in the gay world.
So, after doing all this gay porn, what was your gay porn name, by the way?
I went by Joey most of the time. I thought I was going to be the next Joey Stefano.
Right.
God bless him. May he rest in peace. He committed suicide.
Joey Stefano was a big porn star?
He was a big porn star in the early 90s. I thought I was going to be like him. I was nothing like him. I was lowbrow. I was grade Z porn.
Right.
Spanking, water sports, scat, all that
Scat?
stuff.
Guys shit on you?
No, I did that.
Could you shit on camera?
I could.
Yeah.
I really could.
How do you prepare for something like that? You eat a lot of hamburgers?
Well, it's just kind of the opposite. I just, I didn't clean myself. I
Right.
just went for a few days.
What would happen when you would shit? Would these guys then rim you?
No, usually I would defecate on them, and they would like to rub it on their bodies.
Good
their
Lord.
nude bodies.
You're into a scene, man.
I don't know how you fall into something like this.
But my clients in that area were very high up men. They were powerful, wealthy men. They
Wow.
got into that stuff. A lot of time, married guys.
Would you, a lot of times, you just get paid for sex?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so how much would a guy pay you to shit on him?
At least $200.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Were you making a pretty good living?
That was for about an hour. Not really. No, I did it for kicks.
How did you make money all those years? But, I mean, gay porn doesn't pay anything.
I come from a fairly wealthy family.
Yeah.
And, the dynamics for girls and guys getting into porn is very different.
Right.
I didn't know a lot of the gals, but all of them got into it for the money.
Were your parents pissed off at you for being in gay porn?
They didn't know.
They didn't cut you
How
off?
did they not know?
I kind of kept my distance.
Right.
And of course, at that time, you didn't have the internet. You had to go into, like, a bathhouse or a place in the
So do you have money
in
from
the
inheritance?
Castro.
Is that how you have money?
My family has money.
Wow. So they take care of you.
No, now I work.
You do?
I work.
What do you do now?
I sell Bibles. I'm a Bible, rosary, religious goods dealer.
Good money.
What do you do? You knock on doors and stuff and go,
No,
hey.
I have a store.
Where?
In Napa, California.
I'm not kidding.
Yes.
Look
I'll
at you.
come visit.
North,
You have to go there.
North of San Francisco, yes.
Have guys hit on you in the last 8 years since you became religious?
Occasionally, not really.
And you're not attracted to the idea of maybe hooking up with one of them?
No.
No kidding.
No,
You don't want a long-term relationship. You don't want a companion.
No.
When you close your eyes at night, do you think about guys?
No. Jesus is my lover.
Really?
I love Jesus. He gives me all I need. All that I was looking for in men, he gives me.
Wow, hey, beautiful.
He gives me. He gives me the love. He gives me the masculinity.
Don't you miss a real person? It's like having a pretend friend in a sense.
No,
someone you got, you know what I mean? Don't you miss sort of a human contact?
No. Do
you find Jesus sexually attractive? He is a very good-looking man. The depiction of him is...
No.
Are you watching the Bible series?
I have watched part of it, yeah.
What do you think?
Jesus is very hot.
It's okay.
Nothing great?
It's very good for people, I would say, that are new to Christianity and want to know more about the Bible. It's kind of basic and simple.
So what's your message today? Is your message that gay men should find Jesus and stop having sex like what you're doing? Or really, what is the message?
I would love that if they did that. But I know, it's tough. It's a tough cross that the Lord has given gay men. Because, we really cannot find happiness in that life. I know they don't want to hear it right now.
Maybe you couldn't find happiness in that life.
I haven't found anybody that did.
God, I can introduce you to some people who have.
You were talking to. You were talking to other people who were having people pee in their mouths.
I could introduce you to people who are really happy.
Could I sit down and talk with them?
Yeah, sure. I don't know if they want to.
I wish George was here today.
Yeah.
Are they truly, truly, truly happy?
My impression is they're happier than most heterosexual couples I know.
But what happened in their childhood? What happened?
Well, I don't know that anything happened. Nothing traumatic. They're not looking for answers. They're kind of like, hey, I'm gay and that's who I am and I'm proud of it. And that's it. And they're done with it. And it's like, I'm going to now have a very full life and have a wonderful partner and maybe even have kids and have everything that every other couple has. It's just love.
But is it an illusion?
No, it's love.
It's no more an illusion than heterosexual marriage.
What is heterosexual love?
Some of them break up.
Heterosexual love is an illusion too sometimes, but it's a beautiful
with male
illusion.
And female, you always have the possibility of life. You have that complementary of male and I found that out firsthand because I was swinging and I had a female girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I had a girlfriend, of course, she was female.
Right.
And we went out to the Sierra Nevada one time, and she was sort of Wicca witch. And I thought she was kind of loose. Yeah. And we were out there in the forest. I said, let's have sex here. Let's do it.
Right.
And she was like, no. Somebody's going to see. Somebody's going to look. There's nobody out here.
Right.
And, in the gay world, I never had that problem.
Right.
I had sex in a bar. I had sex in an alley. I had sex in cars.
Right.
Men don't have that kind of scruples.
Right.
We'll do it anywhere.
Right.
With anybody.
Right.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So one girl said no.
But women temper, I think, that bravado of the man. When you have an all-male community, like you do in the Castro.
But why don't you be like that woman? Why don't you say, I'm going to be really selective. I'm not going to go with a guy who pees in my mouth. I'm not going to go with a guy who shits on me. I'm going to go with a guy who really loves me.
To a gang.
Yeah.
Because I don't
believe it exists.
Exactly. I do not believe. I think there's a fantasy. And I went with that fantasy. When I was originally going into the gay scene in the Castro, I was not looking to get screwed all the time.
Right.
I was honestly a young kid, kind of naive, coming from Catholic schools. I just wanted to find a man to love me. I wanted just a man to love me.
And
that's
you just
all
never
I
found
wanted.
it. But it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
And I looked hard, and I looked everywhere.
But you looked in all the wrong places.
I was everywhere. But that's where you go in the gay world. You go to the bar. You go to the bathhouse.
Right.
You don't necessarily, go to church.
You met guys who were more into a scene than they were into sort of a monogamous relationship. But it does exist. I'm telling you. I've seen it.
I think it does exist too, but I think it is extremely rare.
You're like a woman who's been hurt too many times.
Absolutely.
I'm not bitter. I love my gay brothers. I love them to death. I love them.
When you were
and I don't want to the gay community because they've been downed enough.
When you were a neo-Nazi, it probably didn't make any sense to you because look at that weird scene. Neo-Nazis do not like gays.
No, they don't, but there's a lot of homoeroticism.
Did you have to, like, pretend to hate the Jews, or did you?
I did, sort of, yeah, and African-Americans and all that.
But do you realize how malleable you were? You had your personal boundaries were all gone.
Because, I was looking for someone to save me.
Right. You found Jesus.
He did, and he is the way, the truth, and the life.
It's cool. I mean, listen, you know what? I think sex for you is just too goddamn confusing, and you just need.
I think it is.
Abstinence is probably best for you.
I think it is for most gay men. I think it is for most gay men. I mean, that's why gay men are going to other men to have sex. Because there's just something that's not working there. Because we all realize that a man should go to a woman.
What are you plugging today? Anything?
My book.
Oh, go ahead. Well, I don't have your plug for some reason. Where is it, Gary?
My book is called Swallowed by Satan.
Swallowed by Satan. It's a catchy title. Yeah. I like the cover, too.
Because that's what it felt like to go into the gay world. It felt like being swallowed up by Satan. It did.
I have one problem with this whole thing, and it's that you obviously were a very damaged boy.
I really wasn't, Robin.
Yes, you were. You had a brother who was introducing you to porn.
I was just confused. But
no.
I wish I had a brother introducing me to porn.
But how many little boys now are looking at porn? The first stage of introduction to online porn now is 11 years old.
Right.
And they're looking at they're not looking at Playboy.
Hey, wait, Gay JD is on the phone. He wants to talk to you.
They're not looking at Dorothy Stratton. They're looking at people.
Gay JD wants to talk to you. He's attracted to your voice.
Oh, God.
Maybe this is the man you've been looking for.
God bless
Let's
you.
try it. Gay JD, go hi.
Oh, dear.
It's me, JD.
Hi.
Hi, JD.
You like fucking yourself?
What? I don't understand him.
You like it in the ass, too, right?
I don't. When I was in gay porn, I did, because you feel so bonded to the other man. You do. And especially, this is what, and this is why a lot of gay guys are now doing bareback. Because when you have that condom there, you don't feel that, it's the only intimacy you can have.
JD, you say you're turned on by Joseph?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you want to say to him?
You're going to come for me?
I am not.
He's not. He's Christian now.
Yes.
Are you wet right now?
What?
Why don't you turn around, bend over, raise up your dress.
No, I'm wearing pants, buddy. I'm not wearing a dress.
Gay JD,
I never cross-dressed.
Never.
Never.
Master?
Was I a master?
You went hard?
I don't know what he's saying.
He's obviously turned on and probably masturbating.
Well, he needs to stop it.
Cock against your tongue.
What?
Yeah, why don't you pinch your nipples a little bit?
No, I don't do that.
He doesn't do that anymore.
I don't do that anymore.
The devil's not in him.
Correct. I'm free. I had multiple.
Right. Let's go to Ken.
Demons.
Ken, you're on the air.
Hey, dumbass, those were tapes.
Oh, you tricked me then. All right, go ahead.
I learned the term dry drunk when they started talking about George Bush.
Right.
I never heard the term before, but it's basically somebody who transfers one addiction for another. And I'm no psychiatrist, but I have to believe you're so deeply conflicted, man, and I don't mean this in a judgmental way.
Okay.
But you've essentially transferred your urges and your orientation so hardcore from one extreme to another. Personally, I don't buy any of the religious crap.
That, in other words, he's hardcore Jesus now. He was hardcore neo-Nazi. He was hardcore gay. So he just keeps kind of going to one thing to another.
Well, that's what I was trying to say, because this guy can't speak for everyone. He has his own personal issues he's dealing with.
That's true, Robin. And I don't claim to speak for the whole gay community, but when I've started this outreach, I have found hundreds of gay men.
People like you?
Of gay men that are not happy in the lifestyle.
Let's go to Carl.
They are
Carl,
not happy. They want a way out.
Carl, you're on the air.
In this culture, they don't
in
see.
the Eastern Shore, yes.
Good morning, Howard, Robin, all the crew. Been listening for a long time, first-time caller.
Thank you.
Wow.
Here's the problem. This gentleman here, although I believe some of the things he said, I don't believe everything he said. Because the one thing that I know about serving God is this. God don't only takes you out of it, he removes the very appetite. And that brother said that he still has the desire.
That is not true. That is not true. The homosexual desire is a cross. Our Lord our Creator has given it to certain gay men because He's favored us with that, because it is a very heavy, difficult cross to carry.
Just give me 5 minutes.
Okay.
We don't have it, Carl. I'm sorry, but thank you. Carl,
get into this on.
yeah, it's just too much. Let's go to Chad. Chad, you're on the air.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. This is really a sad interview. You've got a guy here who is a mentally weak individual. He's fallen repeatedly and been preyed upon.
As are many young gay men who enter the gay lifestyle. Walk a mile in my shoes.
I've never seen what you're talking about. You're in a very narrow, specific bondage, rough.
Are you gay?
Violent, sick. No, I'm bisexual.
Okay. Did you enter the gay lifestyle as a young guy?
Yeah.
Where?
But even when you say,
I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
where?
me either.
I entered the gay lifestyle in the gay capital of the world, San Francisco, California.
There's a guy on the phone named Wood Yee says he's in love with you.
Oh dear.
Let's hear this. Okay, Wood Yee.
Oh dear.
hello.
I love you. I love you too, buddy. God love you.
ask you a serious question?
Go right ahead.
When will I get tired of sucking cock?
When?
Wow. Yeah.
When? You know what? Just call
Yes.
out to God.
I once sucked a black cock. It was so big, I puked all over his balls.
Oh my goodness! Did you ever puke over
He
someone's
must be in that
balls?
same.
No, I was never gagged.
You were never
I would lick
gay.
a man's balls with his dick in my mouth.
No.
Now you say you're attracted to Joseph Wood Yee?
Yes.
Why? I mean, you just dig him?
You won't believe this, but yesterday I took 2 cocks in my ass at the same time.
Wow. Have you ever done that?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yippee.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Buddy, just call out to God. Because there's some I'm getting some demonic feelings.
He's coming
from
on
him.
here is what he's doing.
Quack, quack, quack. Quack, quack, quack.
Yeah.
Quack mean?
He's
That's some sort of gay thing, I guess.
I don't know
Would
what
you
that
pardon
is.
me for a moment?
Sure.
I have to shit out some cum.
All right. Listen, we're gonna go. You're not turning on.
He's exhibiting some demonic behavior.
He certainly is. All right.
I have a canned ham stuck in my ass.
He
All
is.
right. Wood
He
Yee,
is.
thank you. All right. Well, listen.
I'll pray for you, buddy.
Well, that's the most unusual come on I've ever heard.
I'll pray for you.
Yeah. No. His come on.
His
Yes.
come on.
Joseph
God bless him.
Sciambra's
I don't
book
know.
is Swallowed by Satan.
Yes.
Now, if you want to get this book, I guess you got to go to swallowedbysatan.com.
Or my website, josephsciambra.com.
Sciambra, is that how you say it?
Yeah,
I've
it's
been saying-
Sicilian. My dad is from Sicily. Yeah.
Are your parents still alive?
They are, God bless them. They're still married, and I had a good upbringing. I wasn't molested.
Right.
I wasn't beaten.
Was your father warm to you?
He was.
Right.
Italian men, we're loving.
Right.
I just got exposed to porn at a young
Yeah, it
age.
just doesn't sound like they were around to watch what was happening to you.
Well, you know what? They were working a lot. But, boys will be boys
Here's my theory.
at that age.
Here's my theory.
And I think we're creating more and more people like me.
Here's what I think. I think you're a gay man who had a lot of experiences that were very, very traumatic and very over the top in the gay community.
But they're really not unusual. I'm trying to lift the veil a little bit on the gay world. Let's say the gay sex world.
Right.
Because I don't think we get it in the media. I think
you just missed out on finding somebody who cared about you and loved you. And I think you could have a successusul gay relationship.
God bless the ones that did.
Yeah.
But I think it's rare. If you look at that old, I think it was Al Pacino movie, Cruising.
Right.
Yeah. That pretty much gets it right. And we haven't seen that movie in over 30 years because it's been, even now,
Are you sad that you're going to have to deny yourself a human... I know you're in love with Jesus, but are you sad in a way that you're going to have to deny yourself a partner for the rest of your life, someone you can love and someone you can be with and have that kind of friendship with?
No, because, God has a destiny for me. He gave me that cross. He's given other gay men and gay women that cross. It's a very difficult one to carry.
I don't see it as a cross. I think it could be a blessing.
But
he sees
it
it
is.
that way.
It's a cross and a blessing.
But I think it could be a beautiful life.
Because when we suffer with Jesus, it's a beautiful life. Because Jesus is I know not everybody's Christian out there,
right.
But God is calling us, gay men and gay women, to stand very close to him and suffer with him.
I think Jesus doesn't want anyone to suffer.
That's a great grace.
Yes.
I don't think God wants anyone to suffer.
But there's beauty in suffering.
Well, you might think that.
I find it beautiful. I love when I suffer with our Lord.
Do you beat yourself and stuff like that?
No, I don't flagellate
You
myself.
have to try that. It's fantastic.
I was in a monastery for a couple of years after I got out of porn, but I never flagellated myself. I just, only the very close were with God when he was suffering. Only his very, very closest.
Have you seen Satan?
I did see him.
What does he look like?
Well, I was in a glory hole booth.
Right.
And he presented himself to me because I
White guy, Puerto Rican, black.
Does he look like Obama? That's
No, he doesn't.
What does he look like?
He's more. I would say he's more shape than form.
Go ahead.
He's hideous. But at times he will also present himself as being very beautiful. The most beautiful thing I've ever seen. That's where porn comes in, because porn sucks you in.
What's the biggest penis you were ever with?
Oh, about 11 inches.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
How thick?
Yeah.
Robin wants to know how thick.
Yeah. Robin,
Robin is interested.
It wasn't good.
No.
But, gay men are prize that and worship that huge phallus.
Yes.
Because we're after the supreme masculinity.
Yes.
And why are we? Because there's something lacking in us.
Well,
let me say one thing.
I see it differently,
Joseph.
But that's why.
And I want to be very clear here.
Yes, Robin.
When certain things are repressed in a society,
yes,
they can become sick. And gay people have had to hide and repress their feelings for so long.
They did, yes.
They have sometimes gone in the opposite direction. Instead of expressing their sexuality in love, it becomes this perversion.
Yeah.
And that is our fault, not the fault of the people who are gay.
No, I'm not faulting.
Wait a second. Pedro's on the phone. He's in love with you.
Oh, dear.
Pedro, go ahead.
Who is this?
Pedro, you are turned on, obviously. You're chanting in Spanish. Say something in English.
Que bueno.
No.
Wow. Does this turn you on at all? This Pedro, who's obviously worked up about you?
No.
Que caliente.
No, that's
Caliente is hot.
That's
You're hot, I think.
Robin, something that you said. Living in San Francisco and it being like a gay mecca. I met guys. Come on, buddy, give it a break.
He's digging you, man, big time.
Give it a break.
You obviously get a great reaction from other men.
Me?
Pedro.
Usted habla español.
Yes, you got to speak to him in Spanish.
Can you speak in English?
He's exhibiting something that a possessed person would exhibit, which is knowledge of a foreign language.
Yes, Pedro.
And he's
last year had a whole article that said
multiple voices.
Gay teens generally, homosexuality isn't a big thing.
I
didn't get that. I'm sorry.
Robin, when I was in San Francisco, I met guys.
Well, you're awfully disrespectful, aren't you?
We're not talking to this guy. He doesn't want to.
You say who is disrespectful?
You weren't listening to me.
All right, say it again.
Time magazine last year had a whole article that said gay teens generally, homosexuality isn't a big thing.
Well, there you go.
I don't get that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
What's the commotion all about?
Thank you, Pedro.
Well, we're living in a different generation now, and a lot of the kids...
Your voice obviously has an effect on him.
Pedro, please.
Pedro, easy. All right, Pedro.
Bueno, que bueno.
Okay, Pedro, thank you.
Could I say something to what Robin said? It was real important.
I don't know. Pedro's making a mockery of this.
Hang up.
He is.
There he goes. All right.
He is.
He's gone now.
Robin, when I was out and proud, I met guys, from all over the country because they do come to San Francisco because it's a place where they can feel accepted.
Right.
A lot of them came from small towns in the Midwest, the South, or something, and they did become free there. But it was sad because a lot of them did get used up, ground up. A lot of them got AIDS. A lot of them died.
Well, Joseph Robbins' point is very accurate, that if, in a repressed society, sometimes things get very, very warped because people do go underground.
When you push things underground, it becomes more fetishistic.
That's right.
It does. It does.
Joseph Sciambra's book is called Swallowed by Satan.
Yes.
You can go to swallowedbysatan.com.
Yes.
I want to thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Could I give my love to Shelley Lubin back in California? God bless her, the ex-porn star Roxy. And she really helped me a lot.
She did. She helped get you out of the life.
I met her afterwards, but she gave me a lot of courage because she was really the first ex-gay porn star, excuse me, Shelley, the ex-porn star to, write about her experiences.
Right.
And she's been such a model, and she's just such a hero.
If anybody wants to read Joseph's book, go to Swallowed by Satan. Go to swallowedbysatan.com.
What did it feel like when Satan came out?
It's probably like taking a big dump.
No, not really. No.
Wait a second. Gay Mark wants us. He's turned on by
I went through an exorcism, Robin.
Right.
Yeah, but did you feel him leave?
Oh, yeah. It was a big weight. When I was doing porn, I had a chain around my neck a lot. I was doing bondage porn. And when the devil was trying to hold on to me, he was pulling on that chain hard. And I was being dragged across the floor.
Gay Mark, you have the last word with Joseph.
I need your advice.
Go ahead.
That sounds like a woman.
Is it wrong to jerk off to my dad?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a problem. But there's a lot of incestuous, a big part of gay porn is, some of the stuff I did was daddy son stuff.
Really?
And that's not telling you something? Daddy son is big in gay porn.
Mark, any other questions?
I have a question for you.
Yes.
How far up my ass can I stick a wiffle ball bat?
Wow. A wiffle ball bat this guy's putting in his ass.
That's bad.
What's the biggest thing you ever put in your ass?
I didn't do a lot of that. I didn't want to do it. I saw a guy put a road cone.
Exactly.
Sat on a road cone.
Mark, have you ever used a road cone?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, you're going to be in for some problems, damage here.
Yep.
I knew gynecologists, excuse me.
I have a question for you.
Proctologists in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Very wealthy, very successful men.
Right.
And they make a living just on their gay clientele.
Well, with a road cone, I imagine.
People are trying to tell me that gay is just like straight. It isn't. Because the gay guys are flooding in there with all kinds of problems
Gay Mark,
with their rectums.
Last question. I have to go. Go ahead, Gay Mark.
I don't get a Michelob bottle out of my ass.
Well, hey, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. You got to see a proctologist.
How long is that?
How do you come out of my cat's fur?
All right. How do I get cum out of my cat's fur?
Yes.
That's outrageous. I don't approve of this. I'm going to have to hang up on you, Mark.
Why, fuck it.
All right.
Hey,
easy. All right. Well, anyway, Joseph Sciambra's book, Swallowed by Satan. Go to swallowedbysatan.com.
Has Joseph ever done therapy?
I haven't.
Maybe you need that.
You know what? In the Catholic Church, it's pretty awesome because we can go to confession.
Not the same.
And it is. It really is.
Don't you think in the Catholic Church there's a lot of gay priests who are really struggling with
I was in a monastery.
Right.
And unfortunately, a lot of them turned me down. They didn't want an ex-gay porn actor.
Right.
And one monastery did accept me. I did not know at the time, but there was a priest there that had ulterior motives.
Absolutely.
And
that's what I'm telling you. So go to a shrink that might have some insight.
But I put my faith in the Lord Jesus. Right. You know what? The church, I love the Catholic Church. It's made out of human beings. Sometimes they fall. Sometimes they fall really bad.
Priests should be allowed to marry you. Get rid of
no, absolutely not. Because me being chaste, I don't have a family. I don't have a wife. I don't have anything distracting me. I'm not a priest, of course, but I can focus everything on the Lord. I can put everything into that. And I can put everything into my ministry, helping the gay men that I love. And, it's like that way for a Catholic.
I'm going to tell gay men listening to this, I would not go to Joseph for counseling, and I'll tell you why.
Howard, come on.
Accept your gayness, enjoy it, And like, even I tell a heterosexual, don't get into these outrageous acts.
But they
have
do.
Nice sex.
But
well, then don't do that. Don't shove road cones up your ass.
But they do.
Be with a partner, enjoy a nice relationship, and be monogamous. And
it just doesn't, Howard. It just doesn't happen. A young kid, 18, 19 years old, drops into whatever, Greenwich Village.
You don't know that. That happened to you.
But it happened to everybody I knew in San Francisco. We all got used up. Why did so many of us have to die of AIDS?
Gary the homophobe is on the phone.
So many of us died.
Absolutely. Gary the homophobe is on the air. Joseph.
You know what? I had to hold my friends when they were dying of AIDS, and they looked at me, and they said, Joe, you know what? It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it.
That's right. You shouldn't have been doing what you were doing.
Right.
But they didn't have any other choice.
Joseph,
they were young guys dropped into that world.
Stop it.
Well, they didn't act responsibly.
Have a choice. Yeah.
You know, Robin, these are boys, and I was one of them. We're confused.
We were all children at one time.
I know, but we were really confused.
Well, imagine if you could have gone. Imagine a world.
We
imagine
just wanted a man to love us.
Yes, but Joseph, imagine a world where you could have gone to your father and said, hey, I'm gay, and he would have said to you, you know, son, I love you. I hope you have a wonderful, loving relationship with a man, that you don't get into these weird scenes, that you could have a nice life with a partner.
But that is not what the gay world is.
It can be.
But it isn't.
Imagine a new gay world.
But it isn't that now, because gay men have...
people like you take yourself out instead of being responsible.
And it is awful that people died of AIDS because of all of this nonsense where people are repressed.
But Robin, I know, and I don't want to patronize anybody,
right?
Because I know it's difficult to understand the gay world unless you've been in it.
There is no such thing as the gay world.
It's a world.
There really is, Robin.
No, there isn't.
Know, there
you
really
can
is.
make it one, and that's where you stayed with all these sick people because you thought it was the gay world.
Well,
you know,
run out of time.
You know, oh gosh, but you know what? I want to leave with something. You know, these young guys and young gals, if you're having same-sex attractions, you know, it doesn't mean you're gay, and you got to run into
yes, it does.
The gay culture.
It means you're gay. No
There's
offense.
No gay culture to run into.
There is, Robin. There is.
Just find somebody to love.
Because I did. But where do you go? You got to go to the Castro.
And lesbianism is not wrong. We'll all agree on that.
You got to go to Chelsea. You got to go to West Hollywood. That's where you got to go.
You don't have to go there.
Yes, you do. That's where That's where the gay men are. That's where you got to go.
I have many gay friends who meet gay men.
I know, but when you're a young kid, you don't know what to do. You go to where you know you're going to be with gay men.
All right, Joseph, listen.
And you go there, and you're going to get used up because there are men there that don't care about you.
Joseph.
They want to screw you.
Joseph, I think, Robin, I have to take a commercial break. I have to. I love this discussion. I think Joseph's gotten his word out.
Because I know. I appreciate it, Robin.
Thank you so much,
I appreciate it, Robin.
You.
Thank you, Robin. God bless you. And
you're a nice guy.
There are Christians that love and accept, and the Catholic Church loves and accepts.
Go find yourself a nice boyfriend.
People. No, I will not.
Go ahead.
I will.
I give you permission.
I can show you women with your story.
That's right. Go find a nice boyfriend.
I am not bitter. I am not bitter. God put me through that because I'm here where I am today.
He's happy.
And I am very happy. I'm so I've never been so happy in my life.
That's good. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I was being flown on a jet to Washington, D.C. to do tricks with people. And people thought, hey, I had it all. I didn't have.
So you're a magician?
I didn't have no tricks.
Tricks. Oh, I see. I'm out of the scene.
Tricks.
For years. I never was in that world.
People thought I had it all. I didn't have nothing.
All right, listen. Swallowed by Satan. It's a book.
Thank you.
Go to swallowedbysatan.com. I'm sorry I ran out of time, but
you gave me more than enough time. You're very charitable.
Thank you. Joseph Sciambra, everybody. We'll be back right after these words.
Thank you.